In this bulletin, Health PS clarified vaccination status. Containment borders reviewed. And isolation for many June COVID patients ends.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Good afternoon, Fiji. 3 individuals died less than 2 weeks after receiving their second jab of the COVID-19 vaccine. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong clarified that an individual needs to at least wait 2 weeks after the second dose to be considered fully vaccinated. These 3 were among the 13 deaths reported by the ministry yesterday. Dr. Fong says of the 3 individuals, 2 were infected with the virus before they received their second jab. The third patient, he says, got sick and died within 2 weeks of the second dose.
We know from the timeline of when their symptoms developed that 2 of these individuals were infected with the virus before they got their second dose of the vaccine. In fact, it's very likely that they got it while they were sick. We must understand that there is a difference between cure and prevention. The vaccine is not a cure for COVID-19, which means it will not help if you get vaccinated when you're already infected or sick with the virus. No one in Fiji has died from COVID-19 after they've been fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
With the rise of cases in the West as well as increasing vaccination coverage, the Ministry of Health is now reviewing the purpose and utility of the Laminosori containment border entirely. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong says any adjustments to this containment zone will depend on the number of vaccines provided to the communities, in addition to vaccination coverage for specific locations. Dr. Fong says there are communities that will see higher flow of traffic once the containment zone border is lifted, particularly places along the Coral Coast Highway that are stopover areas for people commuting between Suva and Lautoka. Health teams will be surveying these areas to confirm what percentage of these communities have been vaccinated before it considers lifting the border.
The fact that we are considering these changes should not equate to complacency. This outbreak is far from over. Every technical factor shows that the risk of transmission is extremely high across Viti Levu. We do not have a specific date for you today as to when the border will be lifted or when curfew will change. But we know when those actions are taken, they will be accompanied by stringent enforcement of existing health measures, particularly our blanket restriction on social gathering.
The World Health Organization has raised concerns of new COVID variants. WHO highlighted that it is currently monitoring 4 new COVID variants as the virus continues to evolve since it began in late 2019. The coronavirus has mutated so fast since the Alpha variant was detected 2 years ago, and this is a cause for concern for the WHO. The health body is working to determine whether the current therapeutics will be able to work against these developing new variants.
There will be more variants. The virus is evolving. It continues to evolve every day. We have 4 variants of concern that we are tracking. There are 4 variants of interest that we are tracking, and many more alerts that we have on our radar.
Positive cases in the Laminosori containment zone that have been in isolation from last month are not showing symptoms are to end home isolation from today. The Health Ministry says they may have unintentionally missed out on some individuals who should have been discharged from home isolation by now. The ministry has strengthened its home isolation admission and discharge protocol to ensure that data they are using to follow up patients who are on home isolation are updated and robust.
We want to inform all the residents of the Laminosori containment zone that if you have been in home isolation prior to the 27th of July 2021 and you don't have any symptoms of COVID-19, you can end your period of home isolation from today, Wednesday, 11th August 2021. If you still have symptoms of COVID-19, please present yourself to your nearest screening clinic or health facility for further assessment advice. You can also call 158 for further advice.
Sydney's lockdown is not going to ease this month or the next. The Premier has confirmed life for the COVID-stricken states will not return to normal until November. And to our latest COVID-19 update for today, Fiji recorded 568 new COVID-19 infections for the period ending at 8 a.m. yesterday. 306 cases are from the Central Division and 262 are from the West. The Health Ministry also recorded 113 new COVID-19 deaths. 7 are from the West and 6 are from the Central Division. Fiji has recorded 38,344 cases since April this year. There are now 24,299 active cases in isolation, with 13,598 recoveries in total. The COVID-19 death toll now stands at 340. The vaccination campaign also continues around the country. As of yesterday, 528,926, or 90.2% of the population, have received their first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. 201,918, or 34.4%, have received their second dose. The 5 most vaccinated areas include Ba, Rewa, Naronga and Naitasiri, which are now 100% first jab. Next is Nandi. Up next, Team Fiji arrives safely. And Rakesa ready for Tokyo. Stay with us. Good afternoon. Team Fiji are back home after the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. The athletes arrived at around 7:30 last night. Chef de mission Patrick Bauer has hailed it a successful Games for Team Fiji and thanked all those who took part. Bauer says it's mission accomplished as they brought the athletes back home safely.
What a great success it has been, in that all of us have maintained our spirit and haven't come back home with those who are seriously sick or it affected them that they weren't able to perform. We've had fantastic performances. I needn't go over them. In all fields, we've had the athletes perform well.
The loss of a parent can have an impact on an athlete's life, but for Fiji's para-athlete Yosefo Rakesa, he used it as motivation to better his sporting career. Rakesa will be competing in his first Paralympic Games in Tokyo at the end of the month. This has been a huge achievement, but he owes it all to his late father, who was his rock during some of the darkest moments of his life. Rakesa aims to get a podium win at the Games.
I am doing this for my father because he had always accepted me and thought that I was capable of achieving anything if I set my mind on it. I will try my best to not only achieve my personal best, but earn Fiji a medal as well.
The Touch Fiji Federation hopes to resume competition in the next 2 months. A major challenge for the Federation is getting its members vaccinated, as it is compulsory for the safe return of all sports. President Tevita Mao says they've been doing their homework for the quick and safe resumption of the sport. Mao says they plan to resume with business, house and franchise competition first.
We've been doing work behind the scene and we continue to engage with our stakeholders on what's happening and what needs to be done to ensure the game resume when the gate opens for all sports.
A trough of low pressure to the northeast of Fiji is expected to affect parts of the group till later tonight. Meanwhile, high pressure system to the south of Fiji continues to direct fresh to strong southeast wind flow over the country. That's FBC News Now. Join us again for our 1-hour major bulletin at 7 p.m. And be sure to download the FBC app to access the latest in news and sports and live radio broadcasts of any of our 6 FBC radio stations. Stay safe and good afternoon.